Hey guys, before we get into our first topic of the day, I got to remind everybody that you can win big with FanDuel. Score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's absolutely no better time to get in on the action. You can do so many easy ways to bet. There's a wide range of options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. You guys can go visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, the official partner of the NFL.
And the FanDuel point spread on the Browns-Cardinals Sunday is 8. Browns are favored by 8. Although, guys, we don't know for sure who's going to be the quarterback for either team.
It's crazy. I said on Tuesday.
Yeah.
When's the last time that on Tuesday of a game week, neither team's announced a starting quarterback? And now it's Thursday.
Yeah.
And neither team's announced a starting quarterback. And I'm going to suspect this goes until Friday at a minimum.
Yeah,
before either side names
the Browns
a quarterback.
Could come down to Sunday, maybe even the Cardinals. So as of today, it appears that Clayton Tune is starting for the Cardinals, making his first NFL start. And it appears that P.J. Walker. Now, one thing we do know that we didn't know yesterday during the show is P.J. Walker will start if Deshaun Watson can't go.
Yes.
It will not be DTR. That we know for sure. We don't know what Deshaun Watson's status is. And I got to say, guys, that now listen, if Deshaun Watson is able to play this week or even next week, and he plays well, plays at a winning, capable level, then all the anger that I had and others had over the trade deadline, maybe it was unfounded.
Yeah.
But I'll believe that when I see it, guys, because we saw Deshaun Watson, what's today, Thursday? 11 days ago, 11 days, take the field against the Colts and look like he'd never thrown a football before. Mm-hmm. Okay? Listen, he's a way better athlete than I am. I grant you that.
Shocker.
But, yeah. But he's a way better athlete than you, too, funny guy.
Fact.
Yeah.
But, and I get it. He's a warrior. He's played through a lot of injuries. Get all that. I can't imagine you could look like that 11 days ago, and whether it's this Sunday in 14 days or next Sunday in 21 days, you're totally fine. I find that impossible to believe. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think?
I think this is something you're going to deal with the rest of the year. And I said it before a couple of weeks ago. I think you're going to be dealing with this on and off from week to week. He could come out and look great in this game, and then come out against Baltimore and get hit, and it could set him back all the way to ground zero. So that's why I think I would disagree with you and say, no, it wasn't unfounded. You are correct. You have to have a backup plan for these things. We hope that Deshaun Watson's going to be able to play.
It wouldn't be unfounded. Even if he plays well, then I was complaining about not getting
quarterback. Oh, no.
Okay.
You still should complain about that because, there's these injuries. It's football. When is the last time you've seen a quarterback not get hit the rest of the season?
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Every week there's quarterbacks that get hit, and you're like, wow, he got up from that?
Yeah.
Even P.J. Walker.
Last week took a couple shots.
Right, last week. So for me, this is always going to be right below. It's just that thing like, have you ever tried not to throw up, but it's already in your esophagus right here, and it just keeps wanting to come up?
Yeah.
It's just there until you give it up. This is the same thing with Deshaun Watson. It's going to be it's already there. You might as well just go ahead and give it up.
So I've gone back and forth on this a couple of times. And Bernie Kosar, who sat in a chair right next to us if there was a fourth chair, came on this show and said, I had the same injury, and Deshaun, until he gets a full offseason to not throw, not move, surgery or not, to heal, is going to be dealing with this injury from when it happened to the season's end. It's not just going to magically heal in week 12 or 13, regardless of how many weeks he takes off. And the question Anthony asked is, should he start? If he's capable of playing and is healthy enough to play. And I've gone back and forth on this a lot. And I texted in the group chat, even yesterday, I'd wait for Baltimore. Like, they don't need him against Arizona. And then I thought about it. And, Bull, you taught me something on this show. That if you're wrong, it's okay to change your opinion. And I think I was wrong. And I actually think now, if Deshaun Watson's capable of playing against Arizona, I think he needs to play. And here's why. When Deshaun got hurt, he compared his injury to a baseball injury. Pitchers get that injury. It's more of a baseball injury that pitchers suffer than a quarterback injury. And that's more of the prototype to look at in terms of healing recovery. Well, if it happened to McKenzie or Bieber, before pitching for the Guardians again, they go to AA or AAA and have kind of a AAA rehab start to figure out how best to play and pitch through said injury. Arizona's defense ranks 30th against the pass, 29th in EPA per dropback. And next week you got Baltimore as the number 1 overall defense in football. I would almost look at Arizona as a quote-unquote AAA start for Deshaun Watson. Granted, there's no easy games in the NFL. They're not a AAA team. It's not apples to apples. But even if it's not the full game, even if it's a quarter or a quarter and a half, I think Deshaun Watson has to get out there, see what he can do with his shoulder to get you a real evaluation, because I refuse to believe anything I see in practice. Whether it's a Mary Kay video, a Hayden Grove video, anyone who's putting videos out there in practice, I need to see game reps to believe anything.
Yeah.
And you can't do that before Baltimore unless he gets in the game Sunday against Arizona.
Hayden Grove was out of pocket yesterday.
What did he say?
He's like, there's a zip. The zip is back on Deshaun Watson's throat.
You've been
Hayden, I love you,
catfished.
kid, but you're out of pocket right there.
Hey, I'm going to steal this. I told him, I just texted him right now.
Yeah.
You don't even know who this is. I'm stealing it. I'm just showing you. This is works-cited.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man Quincy. I watched your video last night when I was rolling around. I couldn't sleep very much. And I'm going to say this. This is really unconventional, but I thought, I was like, listen, this is a dope concept. I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there. I believe, like McNuggets, you can't find out whether or not this man is ready to go based on them practice throws. That practice stuff don't happen.
Yeah.
What
Controlled environment.
What I would do, and I stole, and works cited, I completely stole this from somebody else's blog, so go ahead and take credit for it, Quincy. He said, when I was watching, he was like, yo, I would put him through a pro day. I would put him, just like regular college quarterbacks in pro days, I would put him in there. He'd have full pads on, and I'd work him out for an hour, making all them throws that you do in pro day.
Which includes, for people who don't know, like the deep, a crossbody.
Deep.
There's no pass rush coming at you, but that's when Zach Wilson,
They get the brooms, they hit you with the brooms, they chase you.
Anthony Richardson hit the ceiling.
Step up and step back and get over it and go through the tire. Listen, them workouts, go ahead.
They're legit.
They're legit. Put him through that. If he can throw the football at a pro day workout to show arm talent, arm strength, arm ability, he can play. But guess what? If he can only make it through half of that and his arm is fatigued, his arm is tired, he can't throw deep outs, you can't do that, well, guess what? You can't play.
That's a good point.
That's a great, hey, listen, shout out to you, Quincy.
That's Quincy, who was on our show.
Yeah,
today.
Quincy Carey. Yeah, that was a great,
What is Deshaun's quarterback coach is Quincy also, right?
Quincy Avery.
Oh,
And
Quincy Avery,
Carrier
right.
has been on our show.
Quincy
yes.
Carrier. Okay.
We like Quincy. Good dude.
Yeah, good job at Quincy. I agree. I agree with him too. It is a good idea. Have him do it today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do it today. I would do that every Thursday, and if he passes, he plays.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he doesn't. But I think Mike makes a good point. I think the idea of saving him for Baltimore is stupid. Have him, if he passes this test, then play him against Arizona this week. Mm-hmm. And if he can't get through it again, then because to me, if he has to get taken out again in the beginning of the game, then
he's just not ready.
Then he just can't
He's
play
just
this
not ready,
year.
yeah.
He just might not play.
He's just not. Like, that's the thing too. Do you want to? And I think that's a big blow to only his psyche, but the team psyche. Like, if he has to be taken out after 3 or 4 throws after an interception, I mean, what type of damage does that do to his mental psyche and the rest of the team when they see they're like, bro, he ain't ready to play.
And I'm not sure if we ever will get the answer to this, but was he making progress before Indianapolis, then gets hurt, and then it's a setback?
Right.
Or
yeah,
was
if
it
you
just
had sat him for the Indianapolis game, well,
he
by
be-
now, if he played this week, he'd have 6 weeks.
And we don't have an answer to that.
No,
and
we'll
I
never
don't
know.
and we won't know. And
We'll never
my
know.
guess is that didn't have a setback. It's just he wasn't ready.
No. And
So-
the bottom line is, if you're gonna wait till next week, why? Like another week at this point, is another week gonna make a difference?
And we saw, and this is not a Deshaun knock. This is a quarterback across the league knock. He was rusty last year against Houston after missing a year and a half from football. He was rusty against Cincinnati in week 1 despite having an entire offseason with the team. He came back.
That was just bad of weather.
I'm just saying, but it's not like he stepped in and was right away being good.
Hurt,
we see him against Indianapolis, clearly hurt, but
Yeah.
not himself. Joe Burrow missed all of training camp, comes in week 1, bad weather, but he doesn't look
Yeah.
the same since, frankly, last week. So I think quarterbacks, naturally, when they miss time, it's the hardest position in sports for a reason. It's very difficult
I don't
to
think
step.
Burrow wasn't good because he was rusty. I think he was not good because he was hurt.
I don't know how to
Tomato,
prove it. I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah,
I think it's probably
I
a little
don't-
bit of both. And the reality is, you could look at a million examples. It's the hardest position in sports. To come back after missing time is not easy for anybody. For even Mahomes, who we haven't seen necessarily miss a significant amount of time and come back. It's just tough. And now from this week to when he got hurt against Tennessee will be 7 weeks, potentially, or Baltimore will be 7 weeks.
Right.
It's a long time to not play football, come back in and be right back to where we expect you to be against Tennessee when you're facing the number 1 defense in the NFL in Baltimore. That seems like a recipe for disaster, which is why I flip-flopped literally in less than 24 hours from saying rest him to Baltimore to I need to see him get some game reps against Arizona to at least have some sort of gauge of where we're truly at.
2 hours ago, I recorded my podcast for today, and I predicted that he wouldn't play. And now 2 hours later, I'm convincing myself he's going to play this week. That's the situation we've been in, it feels like, for 2 months.
It is.
You know, and it sucks.
And you know, I don't know if I even agree with it. Like, if he can't play, I think Stefanski is already coming out and said that P.J. Walker's going to play.
Yeah.
And I've kind of flipped on this. I've kind of moved to say if you know, Deshaun Watson can't play and you got DTR, why are you not playing DTR? Like, there seems there's no upside in paying P.J. Walker when you've already announced that this guy was going to be your backup. His ceiling is higher than P.J. Walker. You know what P.J. Walker is. Why would you not be behind the scenes working on getting DTR up to program, up to snuff, up to you know, to make sure that he's ready to play? And I'm not sure that I agree with if he doesn't play. Why is P.J. Walker playing?
I agree. I mean, we talked about both of the last 2 days. I would start. I mean, to me, this is the perfect game
for DTR.
To have DTR play his first game against Arizona. It's
Yes.
the worst team you're going to play all year. You know, them and the Bears are the 2 worst teams you're going to play the rest of the year. Like, let him play this game. But for some reason, listen, we said this yesterday. None of us are at practice. Maybe DTR is a total disaster. But if he's that bad in practice, if that's the reason, then why the hell did you plan on him being the backup to begin with? If he's that bad now, well, it couldn't have looked great in training camp. I mean,
Tyvis said yesterday, this is the only thing I could think of as even a possibility, and I disagree with this, but he said the players in the locker room must truly believe in P.J. Walker and be behind him fully, that at this point, if you were to take him out and put DTR in, despite the fact Walker statistically has been the worst quarterback in football when he's played, that their buy-in to take that away from them at this point for DTR wouldn't be worth it. But
that is
I
really
don't
the only
agree
thing
with
that makes
that.
sense.
And I think it's the only thing that's even possible in the grand scheme of things.
I like my grandfather, but I'm not putting no money on him in a fight. You guys are getting, I'm fully behind him. He getting knocked out. What are we going to do?
How old's your grandfather?
Oh, he's deceased.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, he would get. I mean, he's dead. He can't fight anymore.
So I'm behind you, dog. What is that? So that just shows you how much behind really matters in the scheme of things. Like,
I would say I don't agree with it. I was just trying to rationalize what it could be. But, Bull, you watched the videos yesterday of Deshaun Watson throwing.
Yeah, it's hard to tell watching a video. To me, I didn't think he had any kind of zip. But I'm watching a video. How do you know? It's a controlled environment in practice. You know, this Sunday it's not going to be like bitterly cold, but it's going to be like 50 degrees at game time.
Yeah.
You know, like in there, that's a completely controlled environment. I mean, that didn't look like it had a ton of zip on it. I don't know, but it's hard to tell.
And also, we don't know if he's, throwing the ball at 100%.
Yeah,
if he's
I don't
just,
know.
Lobbing it in. You go through warm-up drills. Gee, you've done this in football. I did it in basketball. Gee, even in Bull and baseball with your kid. Like, when you're warming up with Aaron, he's not ripping it 100 miles an hour from the first pitch. It was loosened warming up. You don't know what he's trying to do.
And there's something to be said, like when you're throwing in practice versus throwing in a game. There's just so many things going on in your head in the game, right? You're worried about getting hit. You're worried about reading the defense. Like in a situation like this, it's a pitch and catch, and like in the game, your body's going to react differently to game situations.
Gee, how many times in a game does a quarterback actually drop back and throw with the proper mechanics, as opposed to dropping his arm, trying to get around the pass rusher?
Man, you dropping gems right now, bro. Listen, I see where you're going at. There's not clean pockets like that.
Very rarely.
Like you're not gonna have a clean pocket. You got to drop down 3/4. You may jump up. Just go look at Patrick Mahomes. Like the way and then you got to find throwing windows. Guys got their hands up. You got to throw around guys, throw through guys, find a window to get the ball where you need to go. And the thing about playing quarterback is he's throwing off instincts. He's thrown so many times it's ingrained in his body. So when you're throwing the ball and your motion is your motion, that's why a lot of times we'll say we're going to change his quarterback motion so that he's more efficient and he gets the ball out quicker. It usually doesn't work. because they've been throwing that way
Right.
forever.
That's how you play.
That's how he is. So now you're throwing the ball, and instead of being like, oh, well, I'm just going to let this thing rip, you're sitting there thinking like, oh, I know I can't put my arm in this position, or this position. So I'm going to have to throw. And now you're thinking. And that doesn't help. And now you can't get the strength and the velocity on the ball because you're not throwing it accurately in the way you used to throw it. So that's a very good point. Like,
because he may feel good throwing over the top in a natural, but if he has to come down to a three-quarter throw or a sidearm, and we were going through the all-22 before you got in here, G, and we were watching some of P.J. Walker's throws. We only got to the first half, but he maybe threw 5 normal passes and 10 to 15 on the move on the side,
and with all
more of a baseball thing, and that could re-aggravate the shoulder in a way that's not coming over the top.
And with all you already have on your plate as a quarterback in a game, to now be thinking about the position of your arm, if you're actively thinking about that, there's no way you could play at a high level that way. I just don't see it.
And so as a defensive lineman, you're thinking like this, and I just want people to understand the way the game goes, because I think people sit at home and think everything is rainbows and fairies. They're looking at it like, listen, if I catch you, just let me pick the picture. He's rolling out of the pocket, which he likes to extend plays. He could be even been playing well. Now you're playing well, arm feeling good. Now you're rolling out. You're rolling out the pocket. You're looking to extend the play. He's rolling to his right. He throws the football. Guess what? Somebody hits him from the backside, doesn't know he's coming, and they land on him with all their weight. And it's usually a traditional collarbone injury where you break your collarbone because the quarterback landed with all his weight on that shoulder. All you need is one of those, and that's season. I'm going to let you, there ain't no coming back from that. All of your weight, all of his weight, driving you into the ground, that play happens all the time.
But that could happen if he's 100% healthy in week 17, or it could happen this week against Arizona. Like that doesn't matter, his shoulder. And we keep talking about it may still be hurt, and he's definitely still injured. I still think Deshaun Watson could go out there and, if he does play well. Like, until I see him not be able to throw the ball again.
Well, we just saw it.
But I'm on a week-by-week basis now with Deshaun, because I do think with this injury, he said initially it's a 2 to 6 week time frame.
Yeah.
This is 6 weeks. This is the back end of that. Indy was in the middle. So maybe it's just me basing off injuries I've sustained playing basketball in my life. By the end of the timeline, typically you do feel a lot better than you do in the middle of the rehab process. So until I see Deshaun Watson not be able to throw again, I'm going to be under the assumption that he can't be as bad as he was against Indy. And if there was any team to put him out there against, it's a team with a bad pass rush like Arizona.
And I'm fine with
and
that. And I'm fine with that. But in the end, I'm not going to. I'm the opposite. I'm not going to believe he can play at a high level until I see it.
We're saying the same thing, just backwards.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Who's the kid that used to play for Philadelphia that couldn't shoot no more all of a sudden?
Ben Simmons?
No, the other one.
Batista.
Point guard.
Markelle Fultz.
So Markelle Fultz, right? Number 1 overall pick. This guy got to the league and was like, yeah, I got some rare disease where I can't shoot anymore.
He hurt his shoulder.
And so we've seen athletes completely break down in mechanics and not be able to do certain things. Ben Simmons couldn't shoot no more. We've seen it before with people's short game and when it talks about golf.
You see it in baseball where guys get the yips.
Yeah.
Remember, there's a pitcher on the Rockies now, Daniel Barty, was out of baseball for 7 years because he couldn't throw the ball over the plate.
So when you see, and a lot of that is psychological.
Yeah.
And when you keep bringing somebody back, and here's the thing about Deshaun Watson, he does not have a good enough success banked in his memory bank. I'm a big person on banking successes, right? Because when you're playing bad, you can always revert back and remember, come on, it can't be that bad. I remember how to do this. I just had success doing A, B, and C. He's so far removed from consistent good play that if you put him out there, he's like, is this the new? Is this what it is?
He's got to get his own confidence back.
Yeah, and how long does that take?
It's been about 3 years since he's had consistent good play.
That's crazy. Like that some people's careers have come and gone since then.
Yeah.
That's how long that is.
What's the average lifespan in the NFL? 2.5 years, right?
Yeah.
That's about the last time we saw Deshaun Watson put back-to-back really good games together. We saw a good game against Tennessee.
Yeah.
He was phenomenal against Tennessee. That's the one exception this year. Last season, I don't think you would quantify any of his 6 games as, prime Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. So you're going back to the 2020 season where he did put up monster numbers, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. His team was 4-12, but
Yeah.
he played well. So
This should not come down to Sunday, by the way, because the injury, they've talked about it, and Bernie talked about it. It's not he's not the same person, but it's not about pain. It's not about let's wait till Sunday and see if he can play through the pain. It's about can he make the throws, and if he can't make them today, well, he's not going to make them. He can't make them Sunday.